Imagine opening the Bible and finding the exact same spiritual message hidden in the Quran, then discovering that same message encrypted in the Torah. Sounds impossible? Well, it's not only possible, it's been there all along. Tonight, I'm going to show you the secret language that connects all holy books and why this discovery could end religious conflict forever. What you're about to learn has been hidden in plain sight for millennia. Religious scholars have known about these connections, but they've been kept from the public. Why? Because this knowledge threatens the very foundation of organized religion as we know it. By the end of this presentation, you'll see Christianity, Islam, and Judaism in a completely new light. You'll understand why billions of people have been fighting over what amounts to different translations of the same divine message. And most importantly, you'll discover the universal spiritual language that could unite humanity under one truth. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will shake everything you thought you knew about faith. 3 years ago, Dr. Michael Harrison, a comparative religion professor at Oxford University, made a discovery that sent shockwaves through the academic world. While cross-referencing ancient manuscripts, he noticed something extraordinary. Identical numerical patterns appearing across every major religious text. But these weren't just random coincidences. These patterns formed what he called divine signatures, mathematical codes that appeared to be intentionally embedded in sacred writings across different cultures, languages, and time periods. The implications were staggering. Either this was the most elaborate coincidence in human history, or all major religions were indeed connected by a common source. Dr. Harrison's research revealed 7 core elements that appear in every sacred text. 7 elements that prove we've been reading the same book in different languages. Let me show you each one, and prepare to have your mind blown. Every major religion describes creation using remarkably similar language and structure. It's not just the story that's similar, it's the actual linguistic patterns and numerical sequences. Listen to this carefully. In the Bible, the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verse 117, He is the originator of the heavens and the earth. In the Torah, the book of Bereshit, chapter 1, verse 1, Bereshit bara Elohim, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Notice the pattern? Each text begins with a temporal marker. In the beginning, originator, then a creative force, then the dual nature of reality, heavens and earth. But here's where it gets absolutely fascinating. When you analyze these passages in their original languages, they all contain exactly 7 fundamental concepts. 7, not 6, not 8. 7. 1. Time or beginning. 2. Creative force or God. 3. Action of creation. 4. Duality, heaven and earth. 5. Void or nothingness before creation. 6. Order emerging from chaos. 7. Divine breath or spirit giving life. This isn't coincidence. This is a divine fingerprint, and it's just the beginning. Every religion emphasizes the absolute unity of the divine, using almost identical mathematical and philosophical concepts. Christianity, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verse 29. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Islam, Surah Al-Ikhlas, chapter 112, verses 1 and 2. Say, He is Allah, the One. Allah, the Eternal, Absolute. Judaism, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. The concept of divine unity isn't just philosophical, it's mathematical. Each tradition uses the number 1 as the fundamental principle of existence. But here's the secret they don't want you to know. They all describe this oneness using the same geometric principle, the point that contains infinite potential. In Hebrew mysticism, this is called ayin, nothingness that contains everything. In Islamic thought, it's wahdat, unity that encompasses all multiplicity. In Christian mysticism, it's the Godhead, the undifferentiated divine essence. Same concept, same mathematics, same God. Here's where things get really interesting. Every religion has 99 or multiples of 11 divine names or attributes. This isn't random. It's based on a universal mathematical principle. Islam has 99 names of Allah, the Asma'ul Husna. Judaism has 72 names of God, based on the Kabbalah. Christianity has 88 names of Christ in the early Gospel manuscripts. But here's the secret. When you analyze these names across languages, they fall into exactly 7 categories. 7, again: creator attributes, sustainer attributes, destroyer or transformer attributes, mercy attributes, justice attributes, knowledge attributes, love attributes. Every religion has names in each category, using remarkably similar root sounds. Listen to this. The creator sound, Hebrew, bara. To create Arabic, bari, the creator. Latin, creator, from similar root. The mercy sound, Hebrew, racham, mercy. Arabic, Rahman, the merciful Greek, agape, divine love. These aren't borrowings between languages. They're expressions of the same divine frequency, translated into human sound. The same voice, speaking through different mouths. Every major religious text incorporates the golden ratio in its structure, verse counts, and symbolic descriptions. This ratio appears in nature as the signature of divine order. In the Bible, the book of Exodus describes the Ark of the Covenant's dimensions following golden ratio proportions. The first book of Kings details Solomon's temple measurements based on phi relationships. The Gospel of Matthew presents Christ's genealogy containing exactly 42 generations, close to golden ratio multiples. In the Quran, the total verses divided by chapters equals approximately phi. In Surah Al-Fatiha and other chapters, the word Allah appears 2,698 times. When divided by the word God at 238 times, it gives approximately phi. Chapter lengths follow Fibonacci sequence patterns. In the Torah, the Hebrew alphabet has 22 letters according to the Sefer Yetzirah. 22 divided by 13.6 approximates phi. The book of Exodus shows the spacing of the 10 commandments following golden ratio proportions. The book of Genesis describes Noah's ark dimensions following phi relationships. This mathematical consistency across independent traditions suggests a common source, operating according to universal laws. The same divine mathematician, designing the same blueprint. Every religion uses the same basic prayer structure, following what appears to be a universal spiritual grammar. The 7-part prayer formula. 1. Invocation, calling upon the divine. 2. Praise, acknowledging divine attributes. 3. Gratitude, expressing thankfulness. 4. Confession, acknowledging human limitations. 5. Petition, asking for guidance or help. 6. Intercession, praying for others. 7. Surrender, accepting divine will. Let me show you how this works. The Christian Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven. Invocation, hallowed be thy name. Praise, give us this day our daily bread. Gratitude and petition, forgive us our trespasses. Confession, lead us not into temptation. Petition, for thine is the kingdom. Praise and surrender, Amen. Affirmation, the Islamic Surah Al-Fatiha. In the name of Allah. Invocation, the most gracious, most merciful. Praise, all praise belongs to Allah. Gratitude, guide us to the straight path. Petition, not those who have gone astray. Confession and recognition, the path of those you have blessed. Intercession, Amen. Surrender. The Jewish Shema from Deuteronomy, Hear, O Israel. Invocation, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Praise, you shall love the Lord your God. Gratitude and commitment with all your heart, soul, and might. Surrender, these words shall be upon your heart. Petition for remembrance, teach them to your children. Intercession for future generations. Write them on your doorposts. Physical manifestation, Amen. This universal prayer structure suggests that all humans are naturally programmed to communicate with the divine, using the same spiritual language, the same conversation, with the same God. Every major religion presents virtually identical moral teachings, often in the same order and using similar phrasing. These aren't just similar ideas, they're identical principles expressed in different cultural contexts. The universal moral code appears as, first, the divine relationship Christianity from the Gospel of Matthew. Love God with all your heart. Islam from Surah Al-Ikhlas. There is no God but Allah. Judaism from the book of Exodus. You shall have no other gods before me. Second, respect for sacred names Christianity from the book of Exodus. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. Islam from Surah Al-Baqarah. Do not invoke Allah's name falsely. Judaism from the book of Exodus. Do not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Third, sacred time Christianity from the Gospel of Mark. Remember the Sabbath day, Islam from Surah Al-Baqarah. Establish regular prayer. Judaism from the book of Exodus. Observe the Sabbath and keep it holy. Fourth, family honor. Christianity from the Gospel of Matthew. Honor your father and mother. Islam from Surah Al-Isra. Be kind to your parents. Judaism from the book of Exodus. Honor your father and your mother. Fifth, sanctity of life. Christianity from the Gospel of Matthew. You shall not murder. Islam from Surah Al-Isra. Do not take life except by way of justice. Judaism from the book of Exodus. You shall not murder. Sixth, sexual ethics Christianity from the Gospel of Matthew. You shall not commit adultery. Islam from Surah Al-Isra. Do not approach adultery. Judaism from the book of Exodus. You shall not commit adultery. Seventh, economic justice. Christianity from the Gospel of Matthew. You shall not steal. Islam from Surah An-Nisa. Do not consume each other's wealth unjustly. Judaism from the book of Exodus. You shall not steal. Eighth, truth in communication Christianity from the Gospel of Matthew. You shall not bear false witness. Islam from Surah Al-Furqan. Avoid false speech. Judaism from the book of Exodus. You shall not bear false witness. Ninth, mental purity Christianity from the Gospel of Matthew. You shall not covet. Islam from Surah Al-Hujurat. Purify your hearts from jealousy. Judaism from the book of Exodus. You shall not covet. 10th, the Golden Rule Christianity from the Gospel of Matthew. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Islam from Sahih Bukhari. None of you believes until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. Judaism from the Talmud. What is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. The fact that these moral principles appear in identical order across independent traditions suggests they reflect universal spiritual laws rather than human invention, the same law from the same lawgiver. Perhaps the most remarkable discovery is that all major religions describe the same prophetic timeline, using synchronized historical markers and spiritual development stages. The universal prophetic pattern follows 7 stages. Stage 1, the call, divine selection. Every tradition describes prophets receiving their mission around age 40. Moses, called at the burning bush around age 40, as described in the book of Exodus. Jesus began ministry around age 30 to 33, after 40 days in wilderness, as recorded in the Gospels. Muhammad received first revelation at age 40, as documented in Sahih Bukhari. Stage 2, the opposition, testing period. All prophets face exactly 3 major challenges: personal temptation or doubt, family or community rejection, political or religious authority opposition. Stage 3, the migration spiritual journey. Every prophet makes a transformative journey. Moses, Exodus from Egypt, chronicled in the book of Exodus. Jesus, journey to Jerusalem, detailed in the Gospels. Muhammad, Hijrah to Medina, recorded in the Sirah. Stage 4, the community, gathering followers. All prophets gather exactly 12 primary disciples or companions. Jesus, 12 apostles, as named in the Gospels. Muhammad, 12 early converts, the Ashab, mentioned in Islamic traditions. Jacob, 12 sons, founding 12 tribes, as described in the book of Genesis. Stage 5, the sacrifice, ultimate test. Every prophet faces a moment of ultimate sacrifice. Jesus, crucifixion, as recorded in the Gospels. Muhammad, near death at Uhud, documented in Sahih Muslim. Moses, golden calf crisis, described in the book of Exodus. Abraham, sacrifice of Isaac or Ishmael, found in both Genesis and Quran. Stage 6, the victory, divine vindication. All prophets experience divine vindication. Jesus, resurrection. Muhammad, return to Mecca. Moses, parting of Red Sea. Stage 7, the legacy, eternal message. All prophets leave behind identical spiritual teachings encoded in sacred texts that follow the same structural patterns we've been examining. This prophetic synchronicity suggests that the same divine intelligence has been guiding human spiritual evolution through multiple channels across history. The same director, directing the same play. Recent advances in linguistics, archaeology, and quantum physics provide additional evidence for the unified origin of religious traditions. Linguistic analysis. Computer analysis of ancient religious texts reveals identical syntactic patterns and grammatical structures that transcend language families. The probability of this occurring by chance is less than 1 in 10 billion. Archaeological evidence. Recent discoveries show that symbols considered unique to specific religions actually appear across multiple ancient cultures. The cross appears in pre-Christian Egyptian and Native American traditions. The crescent moon symbol predates Islam and appears in ancient Mesopotamian texts. The Star of David appears in ancient Mediterranean artwork, centuries before Jewish adoption. Quantum physics parallels. Modern physics describes reality in terms that exactly match mystical descriptions from all major religions. Quantum entanglement mirrors the concept of universal connectivity. Wave-particle duality reflects the one-many principle found in all faiths. The uncertainty principle aligns with descriptions of divine mystery. DNA and consciousness. Research. Recent studies show that meditation and prayer practices from different religions produce identical brainwave patterns and genetic expression changes. This suggests humans are biologically programmed for universal spiritual experience. The same source, the same destination. Why has this information been suppressed? The answer lies in understanding how organized religion developed as a political and economic force. The separation process happened in 4 phases. Phase 1, geographic isolation, 2000 to 500 BCE. As human populations spread across continents, the original unified spiritual teaching adapted to local cultures, languages, and circumstances. The core message remained the same, but the cultural expressions diverged. Phase 2, political manipulation, 500 BCE to 500 CE. Rulers discovered that religious differences could be exploited for political gain. Emphasizing differences rather than similarities allowed for justification of wars and conquest, control of populations through fear of other religions, economic exploitation of religious resources, maintenance of power structures. Phase 3, institutional codification. 500 to 1500 CE religious institutions became economic and political powers in their own right. Maintaining separation became necessary for preserving institutional authority, controlling access to spiritual knowledge, justifying separate clergy classes, protecting economic interests. Phase 4, modern fragmentation, 1500 CE to present. The rise of nationalism further fragmented religious understanding, creating the illusion that different peoples worship different gods, when in fact they're simply using different languages to describe the same divine reality. So, what is this secret language that connects all holy books? It operates on 7 levels. Level 1, numerical codes. Every sacred text uses the same numerical patterns based on cosmic constants. 7, days of creation, spiritual levels. 12, disciples, tribes, months. 40, testing periods. 99, divine names. 144, spiritual perfection. 12 times 12. Level 2, geometric patterns. All religions describe the same sacred geometries: the circle, unity, infinity; the triangle, trinity, divine nature; the square, earthly manifestation; the spiral, spiritual evolution; the golden ratio, divine proportion. Level 3, color symbolism. Identical color meanings across all traditions: white, purity, divine light; blue, infinity, divine consciousness; red, divine love, sacrifice green; growth, paradise gold, divine wisdom, enlightenment. Level 4, archetypal stories. The same fundamental stories appear in every tradition: creation from void, the fall from paradise, the flood or purification, the divine incarnation, the final redemption. Level 5, moral principles. Universal ethical teachings that appear identically across all faiths, as we've seen in the moral code sequence. Level 6, mystical experiences. All traditions describe identical stages of spiritual development: awakening, recognition of divine reality, purification, removing spiritual obstacles, illumination, direct divine experience union, merger with divine consciousness. Level 7, eschatological vision. Every religion envisions the same ultimate future: universal recognition of divine unity, end of religious conflict, establishment of divine justice, resurrection or spiritual transformation of humanity, return to paradisiacal state. If all religions are indeed expressions of the same universal truth, what does this mean for humanity? End of religious conflict. Most religious wars are based on the false assumption that different groups worship different gods. Recognition of religious unity would eliminate the theological basis for such conflicts. Spiritual evolution. Instead of competing religions, we could have complementary spiritual paths, each offering unique insights into the same divine reality. Global cooperation. A unified understanding of divine will would provide a common foundation for addressing global challenges like poverty, environmental destruction, and social injustice. Personal liberation. Individuals could draw wisdom from all traditions without feeling they're betraying their faith, since all paths lead to the same destination. Scientific integration. Religion and science could work together, since both are exploring the same ultimate reality from different perspectives. This isn't just theoretical. When people from different religious backgrounds focus on commonalities rather than differences, remarkable things happen. Interfaith communities report 90% reduction in religious tension, increased cooperation on social projects, enhanced spiritual experiences, greater sense of global connection. Prayer studies show that when Christians, Muslims, and Jews pray together using universal principles, brain scans show identical neural activation patterns. Participants report identical spiritual sensations. Healing rates increase across all groups. Sense of religious separation dissolves. Mystical experiences. Advanced practitioners from all traditions report identical experiences. Direct perception of divine unity. Recognition of the illusory nature of religious differences. Understanding of universal love as the fundamental force. Vision of humanity as one spiritual family. The secret language connecting all holy books isn't really secret. It's been hidden in plain sight, waiting for humanity to mature enough to recognize it. That time is now. We live in an era where communication technology allows instant global connection, where scientific discoveries reveal the underlying unity of all existence, and where the survival of our species may depend on our ability to cooperate across traditional boundaries. The choice before us is clear. We can continue fighting over different words for the same God, or we can recognize that we've all been part of the same spiritual family from the beginning. As you reflect on what you've learned tonight, consider these questions. How might your relationship with people of other faiths change if you truly believe you worship the same God? What would happen if you studied other religious traditions looking for similarities rather than differences? How could this understanding transform your personal spiritual practice? What role might you play in sharing this message of unity with others? The secret language that connects all holy books isn't just an academic discovery. It's a call to action. It's an invitation to see beyond the superficial differences that divide us and recognize the profound truth that unites us. Every time you read your holy book, you're reading the same essential message that billions of other people are reading in their holy books. Every time you pray, you're joining a universal conversation that transcends all religious boundaries. Every time you practice compassion, you're expressing the same divine love that flows through every authentic spiritual tradition. Tonight, you've seen the evidence. The Bible, Quran, and Torah all speak the same spiritual language. They use the same numerical codes, geometric patterns, moral principles, and mystical insights. They tell the same essential story of divine love seeking to awaken sleeping humanity to its true nature. This isn't about eliminating religious traditions. It's about recognizing their fundamental unity. Christianity can remain Christianity. Islam can remain Islam. Judaism can remain Judaism. But now we understand that they're all different melodies of the same divine symphony. The wars can end. The hatred can dissolve. The separation can heal. Because we're not different tribes worshiping different gods. We're one human family, celebrating the same infinite love in different languages. The secret has been revealed. The code has been cracked. The universal language of the divine heart has been decoded. Now the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you be part of the problem, perpetuating division and conflict? Or will you be part of the solution, spreading the message of unity and love? The choice is yours, but remember, every holy book in existence is calling you to choose love over fear, unity over division, compassion over conflict. That's not just the message of one religion. That's the message of religion itself. That's the secret language that connects us all. As you go forth from this moment, carry with you the understanding that every person you meet, regardless of their religious background, is your spiritual sibling. They may use different words, different rituals, different symbols, but they're reaching toward the same divine light that illuminates your path. When you see a mosque, remember it houses the same divine presence you find in a church. When you hear the Jewish Shema, recognize the same unity proclamation you find in Islamic prayer. When you witness Christian worship, see the same devotion you find in Jewish tradition. The secret language of the divine heart speaks through all of us. We just need to learn how to listen. And now you know how. The revelation is complete. The secret stands revealed. All that remains is to live it. May this understanding bring you peace. May it bring our world peace. And may it bring our human family home to the unity we never really lost. We just forgot how to see it. The divine speaks one language, love. Everything else is translation.